friends, welcome to Arjun Education. Today I am going to discuss with you a novel, Eyeless in Gaza, written by Aldous Huxley. If you have not subscribed our channel, please subscribe it and please press the bell icon so that you can get the notifications of our upcoming videos. So let's discuss Eyeless in Gaza. Friends, this novel is written by Aldous Leonard Huxley. He was an English writer and philosopher. He was born on 26 July in 1894, Godalming, Surrey, England, and died on 22nd November 1963 in LA, California, US. He wrote about 50 books, including novels and non-fiction works, as well as essays, narratives, and poems. His notable works are Brave New World, Island, Point, Counterpoint, The Doors of Perception, and Eyeless in Gaza. Early in his career, he published short stories and poetry and edited the literary magazine Oxford Poetry before going into published travel writing, satire, and screenplays. He spent the later part of his life in the United States, living in Los Angeles from 1937 until his death. Huxley was a pacifist. He grew interested in philosophical mysticism such as universalism, addressing these subjects in his work such as The Perennial Philosophy. Eyeless in Gaza is a best-selling novel by Aldous Huxley, first published in 1936. This title is taken from a phrase in John Milton's Samson Agonist. The line was, "Promise was that I should Israel from Philistine yoke deliver. Ask for this great deliverer now, and find him eyeless in Gaza at the mill with slaves." The title of the book, like Milton's poem, recalls the biblical story of Samson, who was the last of the judges of ancient Israelites mentioned in the book of Judges, chapter 13 to 16, and one of the last leaders who judged Israel before the institution of the monarchy. He was captured by the Philistines through his beloved Delilah. His eyes were burned out and he was taken to Gaza, where he was forced to work at grinding grain in a mill. Eyeless in Gaza is Aldous Huxley's loosely autobiographical novel of one man's search for an alternative to the moral disillusionment of the modern world. Anthony Beavis, a cynical libertine Oxford graduate, comes of age in the vacuum left by World War I. His life, loves, and foreign adventures leave him unfulfilled until he meets a charismatic doctor who inspires Anthony to become a Marxist and join the Mexican Revolution, a disastrous embrace of violence that leaves the doctor with one leg. The novel revolves around the lives of a small group of the English upper middle classes and is ultimately Aldous Huxley's most personal and loosely autobiographical novel. Told over more than 30 years in non-chronological order, it is the story of Anthony Beavis, a cynical Oxford graduate coming of age in the wake of World War I. Unfulfilled by his life, he is persuaded by a friend to find a new way to live, leading him from blind hedonism to political revolution and then to spiritual enlightenment. The narrative falls into 5 distinct time periods: 1902 to 1904, 1914, 1926 to 1928, 1933 to 1934, and April 1934 to 1935. A few chapters take place in 1912 and 1931. The narrative does not proceed chronologically, however, but continually jumps backward and forward, describes the experiences of Beavis, a socialite, as he goes through school, college, and various romantic affairs, the meaninglessness of upper class life during these times, and Beavis' gradual disillusionment with high society brought to a head by a friend's suicide. He then begins to seek a source of meaning and seems to find it when he discovers pacifism and then mysticism. The novel explores the tension between wartime and pacifism in a particularly productive way. Chapter 1 takes place in August 1933, but the next chapter jumps to 1934. Chapter 3 returns to 1933, and the two subsequent chapters take place in 1902 and 1926, respectively. This pattern continues throughout the book. The novel starts and ends with a focus on Anthony Beavis and his lover Helen Ledwidge, formerly Helen Amberley. Chronologically, however, the novel begins as the 10-year-old Anthony accompanies his father and his uncle to the funeral of his mother. It is here that he first meets Mary Amberley, 9 years his senior, destined to become his first mistress and already pregnant with Helen, also destined to become Anthony's lover. This section of the narrative also relates Anthony's experiences at private school, in which he makes friends with the two fellow pupils, Brian Foxey and Mark Stathis. The same cast of characters reappears 10 years later at Oxford. The ambitious Mark desperately wants to be president of the Fabian Society. Anthony, whose talents are more intellectual, discusses the nature of freedom with the serious-minded Brian. Their friendship, however, is destined to end tragically. At the instigation of Mary, Anthony seduces Brian's fiancée, Joan Thursley, and Brian commits suicide when he discovers the betrayal. It is in the fourth time period, from August 1933 to February 1934, that many of the most crucial events in the novel come to fruition. Anthony and the spirited and the headstrong Helen have become lovers. Although Helen is married to one of Anthony's old school friends, Hugh Ledgwick, they have just made love to the hot noon sunshine when an extraordinary event takes place, an event which provides strong impetus for Anthony's development. A dog falls from an airplane, lands next to them, and soaks their naked bodies in blood. Anthony, seeing Helen's distress, feels a wave of tenderness for her, and a complex of emotions which he has before refused to admit to consciousness comes rushing to the surface. Later he realizes that his dispassionate pursuit of knowledge is not enough. He can no longer pretend to be the detached observer. He must become more directly involved in life itself. He agrees to join Mark on a dangerous expedition to Mexico to help a friend of Mark organize a political revolution, but after they reach Mexico, Mark falls from his horse and severely injures his leg. Riding off to search for a doctor, Anthony miraculously encounters the Scotsman James Miller, whose Buddhist-inspired philosophy of life has a deep effect on him. Much of the final chronological phase of the novel is told through the medium of Anthony's diary. Under Miller's influence, he has been converted to pacifism. He starts to advocate techniques of meditation and acknowledges the need for universal love. He commits himself to a lifetime of continual development and of active involvement in changing the human condition, both physical and mental, individual and social, in the direction he has decided is the right one. This semi-autobiographical novel criticizes the dearth of spiritual values in contemporary society. This is a novel of ideas. The novel is about more than just betrayal and failure, but also about fitting in, or more appropriately, not fitting in with the current mores. There is also wide-ranging discussion of these ideas, including pacifism and socialism, two isms Huxley was fully advocating at the time. It is this complex set of ideas that make this novel more interesting than its predecessors. Eyeless in Gaza remains one of Huxley's most enduring novels, a testament to the challenges and rewards of bold, vigorous thinking. So this is our video, and if you like this video, please like, share it with your friends and subscribe our channel. For more such videos, please stay with us. Thank you.